Okay.
Recording in progress.
Dani B, the queen, and awesome. No noob. Noob is out there in the wasteland
Rip.
somewhere.
Rip Noob.
He's
He's
dead
somewhere.
for today.
He'll be back.
We're going to watch Dani B's favorite. That's what I'm going to title this, because if I title this Pacific Overtures, nobody will click that.
Honestly, this is a pretty niche one. I think you're right in that just like titling Pacific Overtures, people will be like, what's that? Because I think a lot of people will watch musical theater videos based on name recognition alone. It's sad though. This is, in my opinion, one of Sondheim's like greatest works. And it's like one of his least talked about.
You're the only in that podcast you were on. Should I link to that? Should I post the little...
You can if you'd like.
Putting it together.
Putting together a Stephen Sondheim podcast, which is a podcast run by Kyle Marshall, where basically he brings in a guest every episode to talk through every Sondheim show. They go show by show, song by song, and they break down every single song.
I listened to that podcast. I didn't know what you were talking about at all, but I listened to that whole thing. I was like, Dani B's on this, so I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but because I hadn't heard this yet, I was saving it because I wanted to do a video of it, so I don't want to spoil it. So I was like, so much knowledge, but I don't know what this is. Like,
it's a really great work of theater. It is old, from 1976, so it's not like up to like modern political standards, but it does have it's a very interesting concept musical. Like, I'm gonna say it's not the most direct at telling you what the heck is going on. A lot of it relies on like reading between the lines and implications. It really is like about an overarching concept rather than like about like any specific character. This musical is the story of the westernification of Japan in the 1850s. The way that Sondheim and Hal Prince, who were the writer and the director respectively of Pacific Overtures, and John Weidman, who is the book writer, the way they've talked about this show is they said they wrote it to be if a Japanese playwright came to Broadway, saw a bunch of shows, and then went home and wrote a Broadway musical, which is not like they were like trying to put themselves into like, they were trying to be like, I am writing this as if I'm a Japanese man who saw Broadway shows and now I'm writing a Japanese version of a Broadway show. I'm not the biggest fan of that. That's like super duper sus. And the entire creative team on this show, save one person, was white.
So
and we are absolutely not going to overlook that.
It's a bunch of white people writing about Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, super duper sus. I will say that John Weidman, who was the book writer and who was the person who originally conceived of this show as a play originally versus a musical, he studied specifically Eastern Asia, and that was like his line of study. It was like what he knew best. But again, that's not saying that any of that is great.
I mean, it was the 70s, man.
It was the 70s. Oh, another thing I should mention, this show is performed in like a kabuki style. So like a lot of the inspiration for this piece lies in the art of kabuki theater. And so there are like a lot of like specifically kabuki elements that they incorporate into the show. For example, no women.
There's no women at all?
All the men play female parts.
All male singing everything together?
You'll see.
Just being men for real?
Just boys being boys.
I'm so used to doing the clap sync. I was like, wait.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Sick. Oh, Mako. Oh, yeah. That's the Avatar.
Our man.
Leaves
I feel like I should have
vine.
like fancy tea. I need tea.
This is looking like a fancy place.
That is the Winter Garden Theater in New York City.
Was this a popular musical when it came out, or was it just kind of new?
Nope. was very heavily nominated for Tonys in 1976. However, it won not many, because that same year a chorus line came on Broadway, and a chorus line is "There's our man."
Oh, this is intense.
Island empire which for centuries has lived in perfect peace, undisturbed by intruders from across the sea.
The shoulders.
Hell yeah.
At least this is an Asian guy.
Yeah, I will say they did a good job of not casting a single white person in this show.
I was expecting a bunch of white people with like
No,
a whole bunch of 16 candles.
No, I'm so glad it's not. Being when things are being done somewhere out there.
I'm glad the music has like an Asian vibe as well, kind of.
Yeah, and I'm glad they didn't do like the stereotypical like white man writing an East Asian song by writing specifically with like the 5-note pentatonic scale.
Are they all like Japanese, or did they just get various Asians?
They're not all Japanese. The principal actors playing Mako, Yumatsu, and then the two main protagonists, and then a lot of other members of the cast are Japanese, but some are also Korean, some are Chinese. Because
this is the 70s, I'm like, there's not a lot of Asian people like in theater,
especially
on
in the musical
standby.
theater. Yeah, such beautiful orchestrations.
It is. This sounds like the sounds when like Tom is chasing Jerry around, like the sounds you hear.
That's so fun. Oh yeah, like that.
It's wild to think about how long theater has been going on for.
Right?
I like the layering of the vocals, like the verses right now. He's just staring. He's just been in that pose this whole time.
He does that for like 2 straight hours. I love him.
He's in this position the entire show?
No, he gets up and does stuff.
Oh, but to say the damage to those knees every night.
He's not like the protagonist. He's like the reciter or the narrator.
Just a rumor to be noted and dismissed. Nothing of importance. Nothing.
It's a wild way to transport a prisoner. Like, there has to be a simpler way than that.
Residents of Nakahama wear such foreign dress. No, my lord.
If this was a movie, they would all have British accents. They somehow would. This dude looks very wizardly. Also looks gothic.
Dumbledore in My Immortal. Started to kiss everywhere, and my pale body became all warm.
It's deadly for a vampire.
What the hell are you doing here, you mother truckers?
It was Dumbledore.
Oh no, Dumbledore's about to come in there, brother.
Oh, ew! Are you guys fornicating? Premarital?
Yes.
Westerners to spy on us.
This sounds like another voice I've heard in like a cartoon or something.
Wait for me, Tamati.
Tomato? Tomato?
Tomate.
He's doing those Jim Carrey Grinch faces.
My lord.
From today, you have become prefect of police for the entire city of Uraga.
I have.
He's so adorable. Yes, bitch! Get that promotion!
That was a smooth set transition.
Right? The set is so gorgeous.
So that's a woman? That's his wife?
That's his wife. He loves his wife. Oh, yes, they won for Best Scenic Design.
Oh, that's good. So it got a Tony? It's weird, but his wife looks like my grandmother, my Japanese grandmother. Like the hair and everything. Like,
ooh, this song's sad.
It feels like I'm watching a bootleg. This is a bop. This is an emo bop. This just looks like those old Tyler Perry play bootlegs that every black household had the cassette tapes of.
I love his stance. I love that he's like standing like this. I'm not sure if that's like a thing that he's doing on purpose, but I'm a fan. I'm like, guys, you won't believe this shit.
He has those eyes like, I got a story to tell.
Literally a god tier performance. Look at him go.
He's into it. A real horse? Or is this a
No,
fake
it's
horse?
fake.
Okay.
I thought it was a real horse too at first, dude.
Where were they keeping this horse? Like,
I just want to picture like them leading like a horse up the stairs of the theater. A mother does not walk. She rides.
Oh!
Marcia Sires. This man is so handsome.
he's wearing his Ed Hardy sleeves.
The men came down to stare, and the women started screaming like the gulls. Hi! Hi!
Oh my god, that set. Look at that. So beautiful.
My goal of watching this is to then understand all the memes that you've made. is to understand all your memes.
I need to make more memes.
You've made so many memes.
God, you bitches. This audience was so dead.
Giants with wild, coarse hair and faces gray as the dead.
It's me.
Their leader, Commodore Matthew Calbraith Perry.
Matthew Perry, dude, from Friends.
Oh, he was terrorizing Japan. Wait, so even the Americans are played by Asian people?
Yeah. They also speak in like a quasi like English, and that's kind of the joke.
This would work as like, I could see this as like a movie. I mean, this doesn't have a big enough following that they would make this. It'd have to be like funded by you.
Yeah. By me. I'm gonna bring back Pacific Overtures, I swear it. I love this song so much.
I know it just from your post.
My lord.
This is the only part of the show I've seen.
My lord, tea, my lord, some chrysanthemum tea. It's an herb that's superb for disturbances at sea.
The Undertaker. No, it's like Jack Sparrow.
Dignifies success. Whose success I cannot guess.
I want to know what the significance of like the orange in the middle of her head is.
I know so little about Japanese culture. Even though I am Japanese, it's like, I don't know this.
The Shogun is so relatable. Just ignoring all of my responsibilities. Slow in execution, Herod. It's your father's constitution, and you're taking so long, my lord.
I love these melodies. It changes up so much. Like in each song, it'll be like, oh, here's this section, then here, like it just changes up. I love it.
I know. I love Sondheim. I'm trying to like learn how to do that. I'm trying to like move from section to section in music. It's fun.
Is this the song where you posted with the two people with that?
Yeah.
I never
Poem?
thought
Oh,
I might
I
be
might
back.
be- yeah.
I always thought I might be bad. Now I.
You can't tell me that those two aren't lovers. Look at them.
A married man and a criminal.
Yes, they are lovers.
They're definitely lovers. So that's what he's supposed to be wearing, like American clothes, like
Yeah.
because he's from
Basically-
Massachusetts.
He was lost at sea and then saved by an American ship, and they took him to America. And he stayed there for 5 years and then came back after he heard that the Americans were planning to go to Japan.
Winding into streams like the roads to Boston.
Boston. That's
The
you.
roads to Boston. That's me.
I guess I'll go to Boston, start a new life.
She said, I think I'll go to Boston. I think I'll start.
Such beautiful lyrics.
Flickering, tracing shadows of the pines on my lady sleeping.
Leaves. I love her like the leaves. Changing green to pink to gold, and the change is everything. It's especially like poetic because the second half of this show is about their transformations.
Whoa. Death? They trying to get them a man? They trying to get them a husband?
No.
Venture with a modest clientele.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I wasn't sure what this was.
That you use glue, then you... No, those you don't touch.
What do you not touch? I want to know.
That you do slowly and gently, don't take a chance. That they don't know about, evidently get an advance.
I'm gonna have to censor. I'm gonna have to cut out some of this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because they're really zooming
No,
in.
it's art. It's art. It's art.
Not to YouTube. Okay.
This is on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I don't
think
know.
you're fine. It's like nude art is like, there's nude art on YouTube somewhere, I'm sure. I watched Beyond the Valley of the Dolls the other day.
You watched it?
Yeah.
That was a strange movie.
Dude, I loved it. That's camp. That movie is camp.
This is a shirt that like kids would wear in a 90s movie when they stack up to become an adult. This is good. I see what you're saying, how this isn't like character driven.
Yeah.
Like, it's like concept driven. Are theater people like that cheery?
Yes. They can get rowdy.
I just imagine a bunch of like white people in their 50s and like you know, their cufflinks and like, oh, Marsha, isn't this a great, elegant performance, Marsha?
Was good at climbing trees. I was younger then.
I feel like you've made a meme of this
Yeah.
related to the trees. I'm like getting flashbacks of all your various memes as I'm watching this.
In a tree, I am 10. I am in a tree.
There was no age I've ever been able to climb a tree. I was
Damn.
like, I'm not going up these trees and falling.
He played Ling in Mulan.
Yeah, I was like, I heard this voice. There's so many musicals I only know about through your tweets. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is something she says. Frogs Revival.
There he is. Matthew Perry.
From Friends. It's wild how old Matthew Perry is.
And the guy here who's dancing, he was the kabuki consultant for Pacific Overtures. He was on the creative team as well.
This man is very flexible. Is it
Yeah.
going to get really sad in Act 2?
I'm not telling anyone.
No, usually Act 2s are the depressing. They're like, let's get him in with the happiness and the upbeat, and then let's be sad niggas for the rest of it. Is he still going to have his striped shirt and jeans on?
No more striped shirt and jeans. Our man's a samurai.
But in his heart, his soul is wearing a striped shirt and jeans. Did you ever have to write haikus in school?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like 5 haikus every year.
Oh, that often? I had to write like
We
one.
did haikus all the time.
I only did it like
they kept
once.
reteaching haikus. Like, guys, you know what a haiku is? Yes, we know what haikus are. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
This man has cake.
How you're treating us like hallelujah, gloria, and sent me to convey to you her positive euphoria.
Bars. Oh, the beard.
For the North, are we the fourth? I feel depressed. Don't touch the coat.
I remember your meme of this as well.
Don't touch the goat!
All your memes are like flooding and now making sense in my mind.
Yay!
For reality, just noting clause. Don't touch the coat. Which not apply. Don't touch the coat. When we drop by, getting shot, no matter what. A minor scrape, a major ape, and we escape. Don't touch the cape. That's what it's.
Oh, this dancing is amazing. It's like a freshman cheerleader. I love the instrumentation of this
Right?
show.
You want to touch the coat? Oh!
Oh, that got a rise out of the audience. Someone cracked up loud. Did you hear that? They're like,
Yeah.
like it was like a deep laugh from the chest for real.
That would be me.
That's you.
I was in this audience in the 70s, dude. There are not that many like 9-minute musical numbers that can keep me interested the whole
Yeah.
time. This is one of them. My mom doesn't like Thanksgiving. She hates the food.
We don't eat turkey. I never eat a turkey. Turkey is terrible. A whole like baked turkey in the no dry.
I love turkey.
Dry.
Not the dark meat. I don't like white meat. It's always dry.
Oh yeah, unless it's a wing. I'll dominate some wings, but
Wings are good.
But a
A
chicken
chicken
breast.
thigh. No, breasts are not about it.
Breasts are only good if you're like cutting it up and putting it into something else.
Yeah, but when you just like cook it with like herbs and oil, it's so dry.
Dry.
Come to civilize the savages!
He needs to civilize that hairline, even though it's fake.
Wow, only an hour and 43 minutes before your first hairline joke.
Hey, I have to keep it up. Noob isn't here, so I almost forgot.
I was always so confused by that joke. You'd bring up hairlines all the time, and I'm like, why?
It's a thing in the black community. It's
All right.
like if you have a stroke, if your hairline is falling back, it's like the black community will swarm on you, like. Or like say you got a bad haircut where like it's not a straight line, like it's kind of jaggedy. You were basically gonna be demolished at school just for that every single day. One of my friends, they got a bad haircut, right? So they fake sick. So they didn't have to go to school that day. It's a serious thing. This musical has flown by. It doesn't feel like an hour and 45 minutes has passed.
Right? It's just that good.
If I start balding, I'm not gonna hold on to hope like this guy, where they keep the hair on the side still and
Yeah. Oh, the horn.
This whole
So
instrumentation is beautiful for real.
Extraordinary. I don't suppose you need a local merchant's house.
Working capital. Working capital too.
Like Squid Game.
I haven't finished it yet.
Oh shit, what episode are you on?
The last one I watched was 5.
You haven't seen the Marbles one yet?
I gotta react.
saying
I'm doing
anything.
reactions, man. I can't marathon.
Damn.
I gotta be like camera ready. It's weird. Like I can't just be in my pajamas laid up watching. I gotta be like saying. What's funny right now? Like, oh no, they're climbing gates. Did you see that Memoirs of a Geisha?
I read like the first 50 pages, maybe 100 pages in high school, and it made me so uncomfortable. And then I like read about it, and I read about the guy, and he's like the guy who wrote it, he's sketchy and gross and white and
In the lonely silent open hour, pretty lady, can you want?
This is kind of creepy. Look at all these sips.
enormous charrow.
Whoa! He's just murdering.
Those eyebrows though.
I never got into anime like that because I always walked in on its most suspicious moments. Like it'd be an action anime, but I'd walk in on the one fan service scene. And I'd be like, I'm not watching this. Every anime has the random beach episode.
I know. Skate the Infinity had one of the best beach episodes I've ever seen.
It'll be
it's
like
just pure like therapy. It's just so calming.
Like it could be an episode about like like every person is getting murdered and they're trying to discover. But in this episode, we're going to the beach. Like it's
Right.
like okay, oh, betrayal. Oh, betrayal from lovers to enemies.
They switch places.
You were the chosen one. You were supposed to set balance to the force, not destroy it. I loved you.
the dark force, not become them. You were my brother, Anakin.
I loved you.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
When others speak for me is past. From now on.
Japanese against another. Those who have committed murder in my name have been misguided.
That looks like something Michael Jackson wore for real.
Oh, the 70s drip.
All the outfits,
The women.
the overalls, man. That's a style I could never. Much like high-waisted pants, like just the overalls. I feel like it's coming back though. People wearing the overalls all the time.
Yeah.
That's nothing I can get behind, man. That was good.
Yes.
I get what you were saying by how like It's kind of shady though. Like,
So the women, they were the ones in all black, and they were the stagehands that like were invisible throughout the show.
would you consider this your favorite?
My favorite musical?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. This is like my number one. I'm so glad you liked it. It's such a good show. I wrote an essay on it. I want to go back and write the essay again.
Those are some nerdy desires right there.
There's this really funny story about the night of the 1976 Tony Awards, where he was nominated for Best Lead Actor in a Musical, and there were three others who were nominated. One of them was for himself, Jerry Orbach in Chicago, and George Rose in a revival of My Fair Lady. And Jerry Orbach was Mako's upstairs neighbor at the time and his landlord.
Oh, really?
Yes. And they both lost the award to George Rose in the revival of My Fair Lady. And so at like 4 a.m, after the ceremony, Orbach called Mako from the floor above him and was like, "What the fuck happened? We lost to a revival."
I've never seen Chicago. People have told us we should watch Chicago, and I've seen comments of My Fair Lady in Chicago, but I have no idea what they are.
Chicago is very like stripper murder. It's like women who kill and then they do sexy dances. Do you know the song All That Jazz? That's from Chicago.
No.
Come on, babe, why don't we pay the time and do and all that jazz? No?
No, it didn't even come
Or
to
Mr.
mind.
Cellophane, or give him the old razzle dazzle.
I've heard that phrase, give him the old
Okay.
razzle dazzle, but
That's
not.
Chicago.
I don't know what the song is.
It's okay.
Hey, I this is a life I never led, the musical life. I was just listening to emo music and Lil Wayne mixtapes. This video it'll just be a picture of you, like jamming, and then it'll just be Danny B's favorite musical. That's what I'm
Dreams
titling
will
this.
be